Indicating on one side, Kennedy Japan is leading, DMB is leading on the side. What really, by way of your own experiences as an academician, research the minimum or maximum sample size you should pick among a bigger population?
All right. Good morning.
And your own assessment about the campaign so far.
Sure. Good morning to all of us once again, and good morning to our viewers and social media followers. You see, research has a lot of influential factors. So issues of objectivity, issues of subjectiveness can play on the output of your research. All right. So you go into a research with a premeditated, view.
You're saying there's a possibility.
Oh yes, that is what you get. And you go into a research where you think that the data must speak for itself. So that is equally the output that you get. Research is full of decisions. At every stage of a research, you are making a decision. And one of the critical points of your decision making that can affect your output has to do with your methodology. So I'm not surprised that people will start questioning about methodology and all that. But a methodology that is not tied to a research problem, a methodology that is not tied to a research objective, is no methodology in the first place. All right. Now, we need to understand the differences between this issue about sample sizing and population. At what time do you use a sample size? And at what time do you use a population? When your population is smaller, you don't need a sample size. So what it means is that you use a sample size when you have a larger population, and sometimes which is not clearly defined. Then you probably may want to find a percentage because you cannot cover, every space. Now, with my personal experience, I did something on voters, Ghanaian voters, with my PhD. All right. And as at that time, you had a voter population of around 16 million. How do I cover all of them? We had 10 regions in Ghana then. How do I cover all the 10 regions? So methodology became key. All right. Now, you see, when you are talking about sample size, you should be careful with your calculations and how you determine it. Very, very important. So researchers like Craigie and Morgan, 1970, 2012, came up with a table that determines, which sample size is tied to which
population size.
So sample sizes of around 80. You can use 80. All right.
Determine for a population of
100. Okay. You can use sample size of around 300, around 380, 400
to determine
for a population of 1 million.
Depends on where within the demographics you pick.
Exactly. Now, my personal experience dealing with 16 million population, I started with a sample size of 250 to run my data to see if I'll get results. So from 250, I started running the data. Around 350, I got to the point of saturation. You see, so anytime that I add, I was almost getting the same results. I got the same results up to 503.
Okay.
So I realized that what I was getting from 350 up to 500 were almost the same results. So why should I continue to 600 and 2000?
Okay.
Now the danger if you have a larger sample size is margin of error.
So you're saying that by way of academic advisory, you don't pick larger sample sizes because...
So I'm just reacting to what Dr. Nyi said.
It could lead to saturation.
I know, Dr. Boahene.
Yes, it doesn't matter if Musa is using what and...
your other friend, your friend, what's his name? The one you said released for Ken... Evans Diaz. Because he likes Evans Diaz, doesn't like...
No, I followed Evans Diaz. I've read whatever he did, okay? In as much as he did a thorough work, but the issue of sample size doesn't mean that the results are wrong or right. Exactly.
Okay.
You understand? So it doesn't put it that way. I think somewhere in April or something, when the NPP did their Congress at Legon,
Conference. They call it conference.
Conference, okay. I was there with
as a member
of students. No, not as a member, as a researcher. I'm doing a paper on how to, select, how do you call it, candidates among.
What did you find out so far?
Don't worry.
Okay.
That one is not for the cameras.
Okay.
It's between myself.
It's for advisory. Okay.
So I'm coming to that point.
Okay.
And
I want your observation on
yes.
the campaigning, its influence on the delegates, because the delegates are predetermined.
I'll come to that. You see, because you need to put this issue, to a logical conclusion. All right, because everybody seems to be interested in some how do you call it, sample size and the margin of error, without actually understanding what goes into these things. Yeah. So when I did around 500. You understand? And the results that I got for Musa Dankwai's last 4 outputs,
they tied
in there.
They synced with it, the results.
With almost all the variables. So
maybe a percentage or two less or more.
Yeah.
That way
I did check. Yeah. You understand? So what I've not done is to look at Evans Diaz's own compared to mine. All right, yeah.
But you are saying, if I get it right from your response, that there's a higher error if you pick larger sample sizes.
Yes.
Okay.
So your small, what it means is that your smaller margin of error, requires larger sample size. Okay. That is what it means.
Now,
and so we need to know what a larger sample size is. Larger sample size does not mean that for a population of 17 million voters or 204,000 voters, you need to go and pick 100,000
or even 30,000.
Exactly. 500 is excellent, according to her.
As a baseline.
Excellent. I'm talking about excellent. You see, so sample sizes ranges from good, very good, and excellent.
All right.
So 500 is the excellent point.
Okay. Thank you for the academic lecture. Now let's come to the political discussion. So,
do you understand what
my
I've said?
Political discussion question.
Do you understand what I've said?
Yes, I've been a student. So
okay, right.
Yeah, I understand it very well. So my question then is, the Dr. Tutu Boahene is concerned that as a think tank, their observation is trumpeting a certain outcome of a survey or research is part of communicating a certain political message, if I interpret his responses rightly. And so over time, just like Joseph Goebbels did during the Hitler era, over time it becomes the truth and could influence people's choices. That's what he's saying. So my question is, where we have a delegates list that is predetermined, they are not going to be changed from the last. Does it matter? Based on your observation and how the campaign is going.
Yes, so for me, the delegates list is one thing, and then the kind of message that you put in is equally another thing. Your strategy is another thing. The way you present yourself, you see, so these are determinants that could, as it were, influence, what each of these candidates would get. And so for me, sometimes when I see people blaming candidate A, B, for the past and all that, I tend to laugh, because obviously it sounds to me that you don't really have a strategy, you don't really have a message. So the message that you can only hit is to discredit one particular candidate.
You think that's what's happening?
Yes, that's what I see.
Okay.
All right. And
so who is being discredited?
Oh, obviously, Dr. Bawumia has been, hated everywhere.
They all seem to focus him
like Azuma
as part of their message,
having Fenech in the ring.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, yes, they can still go ahead and do that, because it is a plus for him. From a political marketing communication point of view, you are making Bawumia more popular. People will tend to look at him. People will tend probably to read about him. Okay, and probably discerning minds may want to ascertain for themselves as to whether these allegations hold or it does not hold. All right. Now, what I think politicians need to know is the kind of voter orientation, popping up in Ghana's politics. The voter of 2012 is not the voter now. And so people have learned, people have developed knowledge in elections, all right? And those days, people will go to the polls without even knowing who to vote for. They will choose pictures. This time, it's not like that. People have gotten to the point of tying the qualities, the experiences, the abilities and capabilities of a candidate to their decision. And so people are not just making raw street kind of decision making when it comes to voting. All right. So obviously it's about you, the candidate, presenting yourself as being capable, presenting a message that is convincing, presenting a message that will tell people that this candidate, when elected into government, can change my standards of living, can improve the economy, and then put Ghana's economy and image at the level that it is required. So I think that this whole issues about research. Before I get in, I think that we were trying to talk about. You asked me an earlier question about how do you call it, Musa Danquest and then the other guy's own, and we were asking why
it was purely based on the.
Yeah, so I want to make this point.
Yeah, whether they communicate, they tend to become communicating messages.
Yes, I can give you a questionnaire. Administer this questionnaire among the 5 of us here. And then I'll give Lawyer Pierre Dankwa the same questionnaire. Administer it among, at another time, among the 5 of us. It is not certain that the results will be the same.
Yes. Same questionnaire, different responses, different times.
Exactly.
Okay.